We remain an arrogant people. Without that, we remain as people who basically do not understand the real majesty and the real power and the real authority of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم. Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulihil kareem khatam al-anbiya wal mursaleen. Inna Allah wa malaikatahu yusalluna ala al-nabi. Ya ayyuhal lazina amanu sallu alayhi wa sallimu taslima. Allahumma salli ala sayyidina maulana Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama sallayta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidun majid. Allahumma barik ala Muhammadin wa ala ali Muhammadin kama barakta ala Ibrahim wa ala ali Ibrahim innaka hamidun majid. There are two verses of the Quran that deserve a special mention and a special attention on the part of each one of us. One is in reference to the people of Israel. Even though it is in reference to those people, but they are applicable to us all as well. ثُمَّ بَعَثْنَاكُم مِّن بَعْدِ مَوْتِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. We revived you. We gave you life after death so that you could be grateful. Death is not only in the sense of physical sense. Death is also a spiritual death. Death is also the lack of knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Death is also ignorance. Death is also arrogance. When we do not recognize the humanity and the humility that we have been created with, we are in a state of death. Because we do not know who we are. Because if we knew who we are, we would be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we knew what our responsibility has been in this world as has been described by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we do not know those responsibilities and if we do not know the guidance that has been given to Allah, we are in a state of death. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that only through adhering to the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, nations live and they become alive. People may still be living, but in a spiritual sense they may be dead. Dead in the sense that their connection to the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very weak or does not exist. And we see that among hundreds and millions of people all over the world claim that they submit themselves to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in their own way. Yet they are considered dead because spiritually they are not tuned in and they are not connected with the message and the real guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So what basically is reminded in this verse, that the moment we realize and we develop the faculty to be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala through our words and through our action, we become alive. When the resources that Allah has given us are used for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and for the cause of the people that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created, we are in a state of shukr. When we use the knowledge that Allah has given us to help the people to have the guidance, we are in a state of shukr. When we explore the world and when we musakhar the science and the resources that God has created for us, we are in a state of shukr. And that is what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants us to be alive, in that sense that we remain a dynamic and throbbing and living part of human society in terms of living the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and helping others with that guidance as well. The second thing, وَلِتُكَبِّرُوا اللَّهَ عَلَى مَا هَدَاكُمْ وَلَعَلَّكُمْ تَشْكُرُونَ. That the purpose of the life is to live the guidance of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The guidance comes from different sources. Everyone comes to us in a beautiful package of the ideas that if you do this, you would get this. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is making a very tall claim and a very right claim. That all the people who would come up with their own ideas would have some personal interest involved in that. It is only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the neutral authority, the objective authority, the creator of all, who would give us the best and the most relevant guidance that would be useful for us. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala